Washington Research Council Martial Arts Conference of Martial Science. Really appreciate everyone who took the time out to come here today. Several speakers and 4 or 5 different little seminar portions are going to be available for us today for us to review and to enjoy. Before we go on, I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce people that will be working with us today. Sensei Shihan Tony Annesi from Massachusetts is going to be our first speaker. Guru Jeff Bray from Minatani, Washington. I'd like to also introduce the founder of the WRCMA, Minatani. I'll be sharing with you. Guru George Hoover from Natural Spirit is going to be having an opportunity to present his paper from the journal that we created. George is going to share. Our regional coordinator from Eastern Washington, Cale Merkley, back there on the camera. Guru Sean Eastman from Ellensburg, Washington is going to take us through some knife work this afternoon. It's not going to be such a demo, so he's asked us to have everybody up participate with him. I think that's going to even be better. Okay, let me see here. His son, Brock, is going to be his assistant today during that portion. We have several instructors and participants in Bob Riley. He's another coordinator from the Western Washington region here, and we want to welcome Bob. Laura Warden, the infamous Laura Warden. Who did I forget? Everybody in here, take an opportunity as you have a chance today. Oh yeah. Datu Warden. Datu Warden is out probably getting all the prizes, okay? Before we go on and we have our keynote speaker, I want to let you know there's a raffle going on today. There's several gifts that are going to be included in that raffle, including the Tomahawk from American Tomahawk, donated by Andy Prisco and his company. There's things donated by Natural Spirit, myself, and some things that are available. Tickets are $5 a piece, Riddle Steel style. 3 for $7.
3.
Huh?
Yeah.
3 for $10.
7 for 20.
7 for 20. Okay, thanks, George. All right, and then here comes Datu Warden.
Quick story. I'm down at the summer camp with Professor Prasis, and he goes, "Come on, Professor, the seminar's starting." He goes, "Oh, no. You'll make them wait because they will think you are anxious." And then we get about about a half a block away. He goes, "Now you run ahead. You tell them I am coming."
We also have about 15 to 20 journals that have been produced as a result of this conference on sale for $25 a piece. Several people in the room and people from outside even our own country who decided to put their statements into writing for the journal for the conference as a donation. Sensei Annesi, myself, Guru Bob, Guru George, and a guy from South Africa. And we've got some other people involved, and we're very lucky to have that. Corey and his wife Betsy did a wonderful job. So without any more rambling from myself, I'd like to introduce you Shihan Tony Annesi, who's going to be our keynote speaker and give us a 10 to 15 minute address before we start. So,
before I start reading from my address here, there's something that's I find strange. In a lot of associations, they use acronyms, like American Teachers Association of Martial Arts is ATAMA. ATAMA means head in Japanese. Everyone pronounce WRCMA.
Vermont.
You can't! What's wrong with this picture? Something strange about that. They have to be juggled around in some ways and pronounce something. I don't know why. Okay, that's it. A couple of my students will be coming down. When they come in, I'll stop everything. I'll have you bow to you, which is my joke. First of all, let me thank Corey and Betsy and Minatani for putting this together. This is a unique learning opportunity for everybody here, and they deserve a lot of praise for that. They did a lot of work on it. Thanks to those who delivered papers, their effort and their intellectual courage to do it. It's not easy to get out in front of people and deliver a paper. I want to thank my students for supporting me and showing up, traveling from Massachusetts to be here with me. I want to thank Larry for taking my picture every once in a while to make me look cute for my own state. I published my whole life. I want to thank you for having such a good sense of humor. 1, 2, 3, laugh! Thank you, all right. On a semi-serious note, the idea of this address, obviously, is to introduce the conference. And I was thinking about how it fits into the whole, I don't want to be too grandiose, but evolution of martial arts. And I think martial arts are evolving all the time, but I think currently, by and large, take all of martial arts across America, I think they're evolving into children's activities. You know, it's great to have your kids study a martial art. There's nothing wrong with them being children's activities. But I don't think it's so great if you have to convince your brother-in-law that you're not a kid for studying martial arts. You know, it's almost like you're not considered serious if you do martial arts. What is that about? That's something the 5-year-olds do when they get to where they're dragging on their gi. You know, is that what you do? Often when I started, I did an article called Tales of the Dojo, inside karate when it existed years ago. And I always used to start mentally, not on paper. I used to start with this line, I'm going to start this with this one. When I was but a youth, and it's always like, some people are going to go, well, that was last year. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was a long time ago. When I was but a youth, I remember, I was probably about 10 or 12 years old, sitting in my kitchen, drawing with my mother, over 59 Summer Street, Ashland, Massachusetts, with a stone park in the background, named the park. And we're having a discussion. And my mother, who was never known for her ironclad arguments, probably because she was brought up by an iron-willed Italian father who didn't brook any argument from her. She was contending that trees that I was drawing, that we could see in the window, were not brown, they were purple. So I had to integrate this, and I was sure she was trying to make me understand something about tones of my drawing, my coloring. And I said, you mean I should color them purple, right? And she said, no, because they are purple. And I said, Mom, they're brown. No, they're purple. So I figured, okay, how do I resolve this? In my little 10 or 12-year-old mind, I think, my mother must really be colorblind. So, you know, brown and purple are both kind of dark colors, so she's probably confused about that. So I said, Mom, just look outside, look at any tree, and luckily there were no birch trees around, so it was okay to look at any tree. They're all brown. Now, she grew up in the city, she grew up in Boston. She probably didn't see a heck of a lot of healthy, thick trees. So, instead of arguing with me, she said, she used an argument from authority, she said, all I know is my second grade art teacher insisted that the trees were purple. Now I said, they may look purple in some paintings, but real trees are brown. Purple, she insisted. Now, this is called an argument from authority. And she was not only depending on the authority of her second grade art teacher, but also on her authority as a parent. Right? I should believe her because she's my parent. But she was almost asking me to defy reality. I hope nobody thinks trees are purple. Well, maybe you do. The argument from authority is commonly made by those of us who don't know a subject well, or well enough, to argue from either established facts or empirical evidence. Some of you are old enough to remember the E.F. Hutton ads of the, I think it was the 80s. Remember the airline passenger whispers to his friend, my broker says to invest in widgets. And his friend, deciding to share a top secret whispers, wow, my broker is E.F. Hutton. And E.F. Hutton says, and the entire side of the plane leans over, because E.F. Hutton is supposed to be such a hotshot authority on investing, right? The plane tilts and loses all its widgets. But as martial artists, we tend to make the same sort of arguments. My sensei, or Sifu, or Sabon, or Guru, or whatever, is Snidely Whiplash. And Snidely Whiplash says, now, we're supposed to believe that, right? And I think it's important to believe our teachers. Or what would it be like if you couldn't believe your teacher? Right? Most teachers have spent more time in the laundromat washing their uniforms than you spent on the mat wearing your uniform. So they have a bit of authority to go by. If Snidely Whiplash, Sifu Snidely, said it, we're willing to put our brains on hold permanently as martial artists, and it's the permanently that's the problem. We should believe our instructors, but the permanently is a real concern. While our brains are on hold, we don't bother trying to understand what Sifu Snidely really might have meant. We believe our white belt ears rather than do a black belt investigation. All of that. Because when we heard him, we were white belts, or beginners, or middle level students. But when we're black belts, it's a different thing. We can hear him with different ears. And we tend not to. We tend to retain the white belt understanding. We should believe our teachers, but at some point we have to start investigating things and thinking for ourselves. Not to contradict our teachers, but to give ourselves our own confidence and our own ability to come to the same conclusions. Or different conclusions if it happens that way. That's fine too. We're not used to investigation. We're not used to rational argument. What constitutes a proof is authority. And that's why we're often doomed to believe that trees are purple. We just accept it. If we are willing to believe an argument from authority perpetually, we're doomed to be white belts perpetually, no matter what our skills are. Because the brain is not catching up to our body. And that means, if we're white belts perpetually, that we become like children again. Not just for as long as it takes to empty our cups, to take the other knowledge in. Not just to respectfully believe our instructors, but permanently. All because it's easier to put our brains on hold than to go outside and study the color of a tree. Study means studying with an open mind, not an empty head. Consider everyone's paper today with an open mind. Study the quality of their arguments. Investigate for yourself. Then decide for yourself, purple or brown. Be able to defend your case, no matter which you believe. Children have opinions too, but children can't defend their opinions. If martial arts are to become respectable, adult activities, again, adult martial artists must be intelligent enough to defend their opinions. The subject of the martial arts, as I see it, is self-defense and self-development. To develop ourselves as adult martial artists, we must be able to defend our intellectual position as well as our physical body. So, we're here for self-development and self-defense. Hats off to those of you who want both. Here's to good self-development and self-defense. I hope this conference contributes to both of those. And I want to thank you all for coming, and I want to thank everyone for having me. Thanks very much.
yourselves on what you're beginning to see, what you see, or hear and read, and things like that. Right now, I'd like to introduce again Sensi Minatani. Sensi began his training in the late 80s under the guidance of Master Jack Gibson of Moses Lake, Washington, studying Taekwondo, Kempo, and Annesi in a blend called Free-Wind Karate. After receiving his black belt and graduation certificate from high school, he enlisted in the Army. During that time, he was introduced and exposed to additional training and grappling by Sensei John Saylor, former USA team coach in Colorado Springs of the Olympic team there. When he returned, he continued his education with Master Gibson, receiving his certification in modern Annesi, and began his training in Aikido Jiu-Jitsu with Shihan Annesi. Sensei Minatani opened a school in Ephrata, Washington, and taught there until he pursued his college education and bachelor's degree in philosophy at Central Washington University. This is where he and his wife Betsy formulated the idea of the Washington Research Council of Martial Arts and the Karate College of the mind to blend more than technique. Its intent is to aspire to achieve as much intellect as physical technique. College currently has curriculum in both Aikido Jiu-Jitsu and Renegade JKD, and you can find that information at the website of the WRCMA at Yahoo. Sensei Minatani is a fifth dan in Free-Wind Karate. He's a Lakanisa first degree from Marpeel, the organization headed by Grandmaster Ramey Grace's son and family, Ramey Jr., and he's been recognized there. He's a level 1 full instructor, Renegade JKD. He's a 5th degree level in Natural Spirit International. He's also a stick fighting instructor from Dr. Jerry Beasley when Sensi attended the Virginia camp, summer camp they hold annually back there. He's also an ITT instructor in training, the only one in the United States with that designation under Shihan Annesi. He's also holds rank in Kichiru Karate Do, American and Chinese Kempo Karate. Currently, his studies include, but are not limited to, Okinawan Goju-Ryu, Dado-Ryu, Aikido Jiu-Jitsu, Hakaru Jiu-Jitsu, and Kenjutsu. Did I say those right? Okay.
What's that?
Corey has been my good friend for a long time, since I was working for the Boeing Company in my capacity over in his town, and he was still a running nose on the Greenbelt. We've exchanged information, punches, stories, and coffee over the years. I respect Sensei Corey's decisions he and his wife are making to further their martial research and achieve their goals. I truly believe in his ideals to start this research organization and the Martial College. He's asked me to spearhead this organization from this state. As its director, and with everything I have, I will endeavor to make that dream come true. Okay? This is really a good thing, everyone. I salute and introduce you, founder and national director of the WRCMA, Corey Minatani.
Well, thanks everyone for being here. What I gave Ken Smith to announce during this time is WRCMA founder. That's it. And he added some stuff on my website and stuff like that. So sorry it was so long. I try not to worry about the stuff that I received as far as rank and titles and that kind of thing. I'm more worried about my development and the development of my students. I really care about my students as far as can they defend themselves, are they doing the right things, so on and so forth, and that's what's really important to me. And thank you for coming here. You're kind of supporting your own students and your students yourself. You're working on a leadership pattern that'll hopefully benefit us in the future. The rundown, what we're going to do today is we're going to do 4 clinics, plus Guru Eastman's demonstration, which is now going to be kind of a hands-on seminar. We're also going to be doing paper presentations. Along the paper presentation, what I want you to do is what we're going to do. Originally, we were going to give the paper, whoever was presenting a paper, their paper to someone else to critique, and they would come up here and grill them verbally and on paper. We decided to take that out in the first year. So what's going to happen is the person's going to present their paper, and then we're going to open it up for a Q&A. And then what I want you to do is some people will have different ideas. I want you to call them on it. You know, like maybe I don't understand this, or can you explain that? Or even if it's just a compliment, it doesn't always have to be be negative. You can say, wow, you did a really good job presenting this paper, thank you. You know, so be sure to give those presentators that kind of feedback so they can learn from it and continue on their path. On the clinics, on the hands-on clinics, what I would like to see, everybody comes from a diverse background here. I can give a list of all the styles here, but I won't. What I'd like you to do is, whenever we're having Master Ken Smith, Master Gray, Shihan Annesi, Dr. Kelly Warden, is to do the techniques they tell you to do, okay? The way they're trying to tell you to do it, okay? Don't put your entry onto their technique. Don't put your technique onto their entry, vice versa, okay? I want you guys to pick up exactly what they have, and then when you go back to your gym or your dojo, you experiment it on there. Does that make sense? Okay, because if the instructors have to go over there and say, you know, George, just for an example, is doing something else that he learned from Dr. Kelly Warden, it's hard for us to try to sit there and say, well, George, we understand what you're doing, and then but this is how we're doing it, and if we have to do it to all the groups, it's going to take a lot of time. We're going to lose time and reps and practice. So we're going to make sure everybody's on the same sheet of music. Can you guys do that for me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I have. So, are you going to introduce Shihan Annesi again? All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
They're long-winded, but I will, so that's the way it's going to be. I want to take an opportunity to read to you a little bit about Shihan Renshi Tony Annesi. Shihan Annesi has 35 plus years experience in tradition of Budo, starting in the early 60s. Over 3 decades of instructional experience, and holds black belts in judo, aikido jiu-jitsu, karate, and has studied numerous other arts. As early as 1977, Shihan Annesi received the title of Ichiban Chichi no Soke, the #1 student of a stylistic leader in aikido jiu-jitsu from Albert Church Jr. In 1984, the Goshinkai International Federation, a French federation, and the International Brotherhood of Martial Artists, a German-based organization, both decorated Shihan Annesi for his dedication to the martial arts. In the same year, Shihan Annesi was appointed Sokedai Inheritor Designate of the Kamashin-Ryu Martial Arts, a position he resigned in 1988 due to a conflict in leadership styles. And sir, I respect that very much, that your principles stand for more than anything else. In 1989, he founded the Bushido-kai Kenkyukai, a federation for the development of innovative traditional martial arts, and shortly thereafter founded the Bushido-kai Budoya to help broaden the martial education practitioners worldwide. He is the developer of Teikishin Saiken Budo, a modern martial art based on traditional Aiki and karate principles. A true innovator. In addition to writing the regular column Tales of the Dojo Files for Inside Karate, Shihan Annesi has also written numerous articles for Self-Defense World, Inside Kung Fu, Black Belt, and the International Fighter magazine. He is the author of Cracking the Kata Code, Road to Mastery, and Principles of Advanced Budo, author of 8 Aiki manuals and 6 karate manuals, and a sponsor of the Bushido-kai annual Aiki Festival. Creator of Bushido-kai's Beyond Karate, a TV series for a local cable television station. He is president of the Bushido-kai Video, the martial arts shop he has back there, and the Bushido-kai Video Production Company. Shihan Renshi, or Master Instructor, Tony Annesi, having taught for over 30 years, is featured in Kokorin's and Karka's landmark reference, am I saying these things right? Martial arts, history, traditions, and people. I think that's just a wonderful thing. Having met and trained with, in the past with Shihan Annesi, I have found him to be more than knowledgeable in the arts. Being able to draw comparisons and relay differences in a very intelligent way. His attitude and personal interpretation of the arts are true to the spirit of a balanced warrior. I have found something he said to be one of the truest statements in martial arts, non-political, giving, and fair. And what I heard in that statement was, each technique we see and are shown is intended to work against the technique it is described to work against. So you'll have a variance of styles. You'll see the blocks that you don't like, or your style says that it's different, or that we don't like it because of this. Well, in someone else's style, it does work against the intended technique that it's designed against. Hence, what I heard him say this morning about having the open mind and being willing to accept those things and other people's opinions. And I'll reiterate that again by accept someone else's version, accept interpretation, think past stylistic pattern and definition, learn to grow, blend, and excel. Okay? Everyone, Shihan, Tony, Annesi.
Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Everybody up.
Now you're not warmed up at all, you don't know what the heck is going to happen. Okay, everyone knows cadena de mano, right? Slowly. You don't have to be perfect at this. I just want you to start, I want to start with something you're already familiar with before I get into Aikido. I've been charged with spending 2 hours to teach you something it took me 20 years to get a handle on. Okay? Ain't gonna happen. Okay? I want to give you not just a beginner's example, I want to give you a representative example. But again, I can't do that. I can't start you as a beginner. I can't have you take falls. I think I should go home. But what I'm going to try to do is give you a hint of Aiki energy and Aiki technique based on what you already know. So, do you guys remember cadena? You've done it before, but you might want to get one of the people that are the tactical people. Might be able to do that. Okay, Larry, just real quick. Just so we're all on the same page. If he starts off with a back fist here, I'm going to parry, hook, back fist him. He'll take the inside, parry, hook, back fist me, and I'll be on the outside. Now we know, you experienced people know that we can switch inside, outside, we can change tactic, we can do different blows, we can go to hoop-a-loop-it or whatever we can do. But all I care about now is one person on the outside doing a 1-2 back fist, one person on the inside doing a 1-2 back fist, 1-2 back fist. Notice the weight shift too. I'd like you to get this if you possibly can do the weight shift, the triangle stuff. Okay? And again, I'll take a look at you. If you all look like you're moderately confident at this, I can have something to spring from. If you're not, we'll go a little slow. Okay, thank you. Four part. Okay? So in other words, parry, hook, back fist, parry, hook, back fist. So always 3 count. One partner will always be on the outside. One partner will always be on the inside. I mean, you can do multiple counts. I just want you to do 3 count. One's a parry, one's a hook. Go ahead. Take some holy smoke. You got it. Okay. Now, if we take that paradigm, okay, just give me a quick. Take this paradigm. We have 3 motions, two receiving motions and a countering motion. We have this is a receiving motion, this is a receiving motion, and this is our countering motion, whichever this is, Ipo, back fist, wrist, whatever. Okay, forget the countering motion. I mean, do it, but that's not what I'm concerned with. I'm concerned with receiving. If I were on the inside, it would be the same thing. It would be parry, hook. Right? Now, anybody here at a seminar, anybody here attend a seminar I did at Moses Lake a few years ago? What was the theme of that? It was hook block.
Transmutation.
It was kakioke. Kakioke being a Japanese name for this, which most styles have. Well, here's an Annesi version of the hook block. This just hangs over. Now, you could have done this and checked again and hit it. Right? That's a 4 count. Now you're checking, hooking, checking, and hitting. So all you did is to parry twice, the palm heel twice. All I care about right now is that you picture in your mind that you have 2 receptions, only 2 in this case, parry and hook. And parry and hook. That's it. Now, everybody can get that whether or not you have that exercise. Whether or not you can do the exercise, you get that. It's simple. Okay? So now, all I now have to add to this picture is, to do what I want to do, is his momentum. So if I go like this, I stopped his momentum, and I sort of checked it here, and now I hit it. If I've gone like this, I continue his momentum, and I did it. Everyone got that? If he did a straight punch from here, the outside would be continuing his momentum. The inside would be stopping his momentum. So, in other words, if he hits me from this shoulder to here, right, with the right hand, outside is stopping. If he hits me from this shoulder to here, inside is stopping. So far, so good? Who's not following? Tell me the truth, because I'll go over my shoulder. Okay, you got it, okay? So you can either stop or continue. You can stop with a palm heel, or you can stop with a palm heel and hook. Now, theoretically, I think you can understand I could have just done the hook, right? It still would have stopped, but it's not quite as efficient as that, right? Okay. So I can use this separately, use this separately, use it to the inside, use it to the outside, use it to stop, use it to continue. So we've taken two movements and have got multiple possibilities now. So far, so good? All right, now. Don't throw anybody by the way on the floor. I don't care what you care what you throw. One, you stopped. Hook. Back fist. Now, when I bring this arm in, you're going to want to put pressure on his elbow. I know everybody does. You're going to want to do this. That's not what I'm doing, so pay attention. I'm going to start getting into Aiki by having you do familiar techniques, but do them in a slightly different way. Okay, the energy will be different. That's all straight on knees. Pull this elbow in and relax the shoulder. See how my hip and my elbow went down like this? And this hand just gently pull. Gently. Now I put my weight on my right foot and I turn my body this way. Notice I didn't yank. Even though it was a yank. Actually, it was a wrist. Okay. We did this from a different angle. Okay. Do small. Now, sometimes you look at this and you go, there's no way that a guy who's hitting you is going to fall for you or move for you if you just move like this. That's where the Aiki comes in. As soon as you assume that that's true, as soon as you assume that your negative statement that it can't work like that is true, you will put muscle in it. And as soon as you put muscle in it, you've left Aiki and gone to Jiu-Jitsu or something else. Okay? You have to invest. You ever hear the Tai Chi saying, invest in failure? You ever hear that? Oh, you've now heard it. You never say you haven't heard it. Invest in failure. You need to fail at doing this right a bunch of times before you get it right. Because you want to succeed. And if you're on the street, you can't go, oh, excuse me, could you do that again? Because I want to do that a little lighter than before with a level I again. So please hit me. Right? So what you do is you go like this, right? That's what you do on the street. You can't afford not to. So you need to make your failures happen in the dojo or in the studio, right? So, boom, bang. All right, another angle. Okay, thank you, sir. You think you have it? Who's lost? You're lost, Tammy, right? Okay, say the word.
I'm lost.
Thank you. Now, what part of it didn't you get? The reception or the finish?
The finish.
Okay, you get the reception. Drop this elbow and drop the hip. Just pull a half an inch with this hand. Then drop your hands. Turn your hips the other way. Everyone stand up. We'll walk through this like a cop. You're receiving with your left hand. This guy's going to go right back first. Okay? Receiving with your left hand. Carry. Hook. Back. Now your weight's on your left foot now. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, drop your left elbow and left knee and hip. Just a couple inches. Pull with your right hand just an inch or two. And now he's done this. Okay? Now drop your hands. Bend your knees. Turn your hips. It's important that you bend your knees, by the way, even though they're already bent. Because that'll drop his weight. If his weight doesn't drop, he'll tend to want to come off. Okay, Larry. Okay, Larry, big fellow, weighs 1,000 pounds. No, just give me a couple. One. Sorry. Now, this is, again, you have to avoid this. Now stand up. He's stronger than me. He's heavier than me. He can make me stand up. I'm not trying to force him down. I'm trying to suggest to him, maybe this is a good escape route. And then once he's down, I go, oh, maybe you want to be off balance to your heels. So I did that. It's just a suggestion. By the time he takes the suggestion, I'm over there and he's falling down. Okay? So it's a mental game as well as a physical game. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Now here's where, Tammy, here's where we're lost, right? Get fun, ready? When you do this, tighten up your armpits a little bit so that your arms are part of your body. Give it a shot. I'll come around and insult you, okay? Go ahead. Okay. I'll be right over there. Oh, angles, okay? I'll try not to do it along my head because legs. So, now you will not have to throw the person. Please don't worry about throwing. I'll sit him down this time. I'll ask him to sit down. Okay, 1, 2. There's our back fist. This hand is going to touch his shoulder. Dip at my knee, and my hip turns this way. So, you know what this does. That sets his head back. Now, as soon as I release his head, where does his head go now? It comes back, doesn't it? By itself. Nobody wants their head back here. They don't fight like this. Okay? They go like this. Right? So when I receive this, I just let this come back, and my arm just hangs here. Notice the same dip of the knee, hang from the shoulder. Instead of doing this now, I'm here. So where is your weight on your body? This foot. It was back there, but when I did this, it was here. Now I just turn my hips, and this can be a strike. I think we know that anything goes over his shoulder could hit him. Okay? Does this. Now Corey is shorter enough than me, smaller than me, enough. So I don't have to step. I'm going to also show you with Ken, who's much taller. Now he's off balance on one foot, so I just spin him around the one foot, arch him, and drop him. Thank you. It's a lot harder with Ken. Okay? He gives me the back fist, and let him hit me, and I give up. Okay. I do this. Now, I have to dip a little more. I have to come up and arch him. But now, see, I can't quite get him. So now, keeping him arched, this hand drawing this way, this hand arching this way. I take a small step. You okay sitting down? Okay, I take a small step and push my hip into it. I do not try to take out his leg. I don't try to throw him over my thigh. I just go like this. I'm displacing his hip. What happens is, if you are lucky enough to get this guy arched, okay, you're not going to get higher to get him more arched, are you? He's taller than you. Follow me? So what you do is you take this out. That gets him more arched. And I do that. Oh wait, I should say this like Massachusetts. Gets him more arched. Okay? So I take this out with my hip. Okay? So here's the, let's go a different angle. Step. No weight on that foot. My hip, my thigh will hit him as I put weight on. It's not violent at all. It's just very, almost suggestive. Okay, again, you're playing a mental game. He has to, a person who is attacking you, first thing you do is you turn him to a defensive thing. You don't allow him to attack you. You convert it, so he has to think, well, what's happening to me now? Now he's not thinking of attacking anyone. That's the first thing. Rule 1 in any martial art is don't get hit. That's a given, okay? So after you're not getting hit, now your option is, do I get him back? Or do I beat it out of it? All right, if you can beat it out, fine. Now you have to get him back. But if you get him back and he's still able to hit you, now you're doing this to each other. Now it's equal. He's bigger than me, his arms are longer than me. It's not equal. If we end up like this, and we're wrestling with each other, he's going to take me down, do his mat work, and I'm deep doo-doo because he's bigger than me. Okay? So I always want to convert this so he has to worry about himself. So as soon as I do this, he's worried about himself. Now he's worried about himself more. He's arched. Right? He has to get himself upright before he can beat me up again. If he's here, it's no problem. He can resist me and he can fight me. But if he's here, it's a problem. Okay? So what I'm doing is receiving the same thing. Boom, hit. Okay? Arch. Move his hip up. Again, thank you, Corey. With a shorter person. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? He's invisible. A ninja, he disappeared. Okay. Boom. See, I've already got him arched here because I have longer arms, so I can just dip my knees. Now, we won't, again, you can sit down. Don't feel like you have to fall. I'm trying to do everything you can sit down with. You don't have to roll. But I can convert this to a roll by turning his head, making the roll that way. Just turning his head and dropping. You get a different response. If this guy was attacking me, I'd throw him into this guy. Okay? So the reception is familiar. 1, 2, 3. Touch the shoulder. Don't pull in. This is not like... what am I thinking of? What's the... Forgot the term. I'll think of it later.
Isagari?
What's that?
Terms like Isagari?
No, I'm thinking when you grab the arm and yank.
Jusa, pulling in.
No, but that's Chinese, right? Yeah, no, I'm thinking of the Indonesian actually.
No, I like that too.
Dumar. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Filipino. It's not Dumar, it's not yanking, okay? Wasn't that name a character in one Star Trek? I don't know. From here, you put your hand here and you dip this knee. Now, watch. It's not yanking. It's not physical. Now, see how the weight went on his leg? He hardly knows it's there. Then this hand comes up and does this. Thanks. Now, of course, I have an advantage because I'm taller. Okay, but you see, I did a similar thing with Ken. So one more time with Corey, and then it's up to you. Okay? Thank you, sir. Go for it. When you go to step in, would you help me out for a second? Just go. We're here, right? When I have a march, and I go to step in, the tendency is to put your foot down and pull them over your leg, or button with your butt. This concept, which is a concept named by Don Ange in Long Beach, California. It's not my concept, but we use it all the time. It's called potential base. A potential base is you have a base there, but there's no or almost no weight on it. And for anybody looking at it, they'll go, well, why bother doing that? Just get your footing, get your foot down. We're all told in karate, get our feet down before we do something. Okay? But the idea, he's helpless for a moment. So I have a chance that I don't have to have a solid stance. I put my foot like this because the actual transfer of weight to my foot is the action that removes his hips. Not put my foot down and yank him over my hips, which is another level of subtlety. Potential thinking. Let me give you an idea of the power of potential base. Where's Larry here? Okay? I'm going to put you over here. Okay? I'm going to, tell you what I'll do. I'm going to butt you. We're going to go like this. Don't move back. I know I'll be able to make you move you back, but just watch. Okay? Okay, potential base is you take your base here, you dip, you shift. You see how we move back further? Because I'm moving this rather than this. When I move this, I don't have any base. When I do this, everything's in balance, or gets in balance. Similarly, okay, we have throws, or you might even have throws, like throwing over your leg, right? We do it like this. Potential base, shift. There's almost no, he has no sense of what's happening. It looks the same, but that's what makes Ike Ike, is because he has potential base. He doesn't even know what's happening. Later, what you'll do is instead of my making him do it, I'll make him do it to him. Huh? Again, working not with potential base, but working with his reaction. Ooh. He reacts to what he feels. If I can get him to overreact to what he feels, right? Then he'll just do what I want him to do. But that takes another level of sophistication. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying that that's how the hierarchy works. You do a very physical, then a semi-physical, then a not so physical, then almost a vacuous technique. Okay? Thank you, sir. So, when you go boom, 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 you get him arched. Get him arched first, so he's helpless. Put your potential base underneath. Dip, transfer. Try one more time. Everything. But everyone, again, is going like this and trying to step in. They're not getting this concept, arching him. Then, take your time, put your foot in. There's no problem. You get all day once you're arching. But if you try to run in like this, you have a chance of being arched yourself. Especially if you're working against a big guy. You run into him, who's going to get arched? You. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the idea on this concept is called potential base. Again, it's Darnagé's concept. 1, 2, 3, drop, arch, 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 step in. And now you can take your day, you can kick him, you can punch him, whatever. He's arched. What's he going to do like this? Let me show you. Okay, separate subject but related. Okay, this is called spinal locking. Larry? Punch him. Again. What's he going to do in that position? He's like an upside down turtle. He's usually like an upside down turtle. But I mean, he can go. Okay. No, do it again. So if you get him in that position, he ain't going to hit you. And if he tries, he's going to fall down. Okay? And we do this a lot of times. I remember the first time I emphasized this in class, I think Sensei Kohler was visited from his school. And he was telling the uke, whoever it was, the person who was receiving, don't fall from it, fight it, because that's what he always does, okay? And he wasn't getting the fact that I wanted him to be there. I just wanted him to be helpless like this. You can fight all you want. If you don't fight, you fall down. If you fight, you're helpless. There's no up. You see what I'm saying? That concept of there being no way around. Okay, get up, Larry. I can't. Get up. Get up. Come on, Larry. There you got it. Look at that, it's good. Get up, Larry. Now you're stronger, actually, in this position. I'd rather have him here, even though he's more helpless on his face-down position because he can't hit you. But this I can manipulate him better. You refuse to it. I do little shifts according to his little shift. And it feels to him like he's, again, a turtle on his back. He can't get a purchase on how to get up. So what we're trying to do here, what we're trying to do is get the guy arched. Now you can almost leave him there. You don't even have to throw him. But don't be in a hurry to get your leg in there and throw him. Take your time, put your base in, and shift. Nice and easy. No stress. You got another 2 minutes, go. In doing this, right, what we also have done, continue. I'm on the outside. I could have done this, and put him on the outside, and now I'm on the inside. So I could be on the inside too, okay, so he now punches me. I'm doing stop motion, by the way, not continuous motion. You see what I'm, because this is a punch instead of a back fist, so I'm stopping. Follow? Okay, if I had blocked on the outside, I'd be continuing. We talked about that. Okay, so I'm now going against a punch. And I don't care if you do this, this, step through, I don't care, doesn't matter. You're still going to receive it on the inside, hook, okay? Okay? Now, let me ask you a question. You've hit it. All things being equal, time freezes. Do you want to be here, inside, or outside? What would you prefer to be? Outside, because he's got a hand here, right? So you don't want to be here, do you? You've hit him, that bought you some time. Take this hand, boom, right? Take this hand and just sweep down his arm. Okay? Now I'll show you what I did with that hand in a moment. I know that's the part you're interested in. But we got to get the reception first, okay? So, see I dipped my back knee again? And this just sweeps down his arm, nice and relaxed, and goes in front of me. And I'm back to just standing here like a paying attention to my own rhythm. Okay? And he's twisted. This is the important part, that he's twisted on his base. If he's standing like this when I do that, no good, he can pop me anyway. Right? He's going to be twisted on his base. Now, I'm going to describe what I'm going to do, then I'm going to do it, and you're going to get it wrong anyway. I'm not insulting you. It's just that you have to feel it to do it. And you're not sensitive to it. So you'll think it's one thing, and you'll do it wrong. That's good that you do it wrong. I know this sounds all backwards, excuse me, but you got to do it wrong to filter out the parts that are wrong, to get the right little piece that you can concentrate on. All right? So, what I'm doing is, once I got him twisted, I'm going to rub my hand lightly up his front. I'm going to put this much, 1/4 inch pressure on him and rub it down. If his body's in the right position, he'll go. And then when I go down, his knees will bend. When his knees bend, his butt becomes too heavy for his legs because his knees are out here. And he sits. If you're right here, my butt's not too heavy for my leg. But if my knees are out here, my back is like this, you see how my upper body and my butt become too heavy as a cylinder over a cantilevered support. And that cantilever gets too great, the cylinder drops. Yeah? Okay, so over here. And again, I don't care what the reception is as long as you're inside. What the attack is as long as you're inside. Bam. Don't just do this. See how that moved your shoulder? Notice I put my weight on my back leg again. Does that sound familiar? We did that already, didn't we? You will have a sore temptation to push him down. In fact, you have an angle where you actually could push him down. I'm going to ask you not to do that. I'm going to ask you to go up and down and see what happens. See if you can get him to do this. Because if you can do that, you're on the right path. If you push him down, you'll get success, but you won't be doing Aikido. You won't get the right feel to it. Okay? So sometimes success is your enemy because it's success for something that you're not aiming towards. You know? Okay, you get a promotion to the dead-end job. Well, it's a success while you get the promotion, but then it's a dead-end job. Okay, so. Did I hit him hard when I pushed him? Did I shove my hip into it? Did I go like this? Yeah. Okay? You just went like this. You want a different angle, don't you? Okay. Voice. Okay. Yeah, so. Well, as slow as I can do it and get Annesi to off. Alright?
Boss.
Oh boy, okay, give it a shot. Go for it.
Boss.
We're going to speak 15 languages here. I'm going to give you a thing I've been saying for, I don't know, 30 years now. I could change my website. It's been 40 years, not 35 plus years. So I have to make it official. What you see is not what you get. Everyone say that. What you see is not what you get. This is inverted Flip Wilson's thing, right? Aiki is very, very deceptive. You think you see A, you can be guaranteed it's Z. Even Corey comes to class and he knows this, or any of these guys come to class, and they understand the concept. And I'll say, you're going to think it's this. It's not, it's this. And they'll do the first thing anyway, because it's so enticing to do what's natural, to what you figure your body wants to do. And logically, that's how it would work in your understanding of how the human body works. But Ike goes, well, I'm going to take a different understanding. It's not that it's against physics. It's not like we change the rules of the universe. It's that we're employing a different, we're not employing just physics. We're employing physiological reaction. So Corey goes to punch my face. He has to react, doesn't he? Well, in a karate school, that would be called faking. If we're like this, right, I'd go, huh, right, in order to get my reverse punch in. But if he's coming at me, my fake really does a different thing. He's got a lot more momentum if he's attacking me. My fake does a lot, has a lot greater reaction. Those are big motions. And I did them that way so you could see them. You can see his reaction. Now, let's say we're here. Let's grab this. Okay? You can't see that reaction, can you? All you know is he fell. And from your perspective, I told Corey, by the way, sometime we're going to have a little thing where you're going to fall for. That's what your mind goes with. Now, let me tell you what really happened. I told him that sometime there's going to be a little thing where you're going to... No, I'm joking. What happens is, very subtly, so he barely feels it, I do this with my wrist. Now, what that does is puts energy up his wrist into his shoulder. You see it? I'm doing it bigger so you can see it. Then I relax so he wants to go down. But when he wants to go down, I roll my wrist so that he doesn't go down onto his leg. He goes down beyond his leg. So, very subtly, that's what's happening. Now, of course, if he doesn't know how to fall, he'll probably do this. He'll probably stumble into the chairs. You know, that's a given. If you don't know how to fall, you don't fall. But I got the reaction, and I got it with this much of a suggestion. So, in a similar way, I'm suggesting up, and a very, very slight suggesting in, and then straight down. What you guys are often doing, going up and shoving your hand into his hips so you fold his butt. That will work. But you're doing it physically rather than suggestively. And I love things suggestive. You know? So you have to get, in order to understand Aiki, you have to get the idea of getting him to cooperate willingly in his own demise. You know, you put him mentally, you put him between a rock and a hard place. You go this way, you get hit. You go this way, oh, I'll go this way. You fall down. You see what I'm saying? And you don't give him any out. Now, it's so subtle that you can't tell, and that's what's confusing about it. So what we did is, back straight one. We did reception on the inside, we passed this, went up and down, right? Okay, now, let's go. Reception on the inside, back fist, pass it, over his shoulder. Similar, isn't it? But I'm doing the arch now, rather than the get heavy at your butt thing, okay? No, it's not tripping, just walking. I'm going to have to do this with Ken too, because it's a little difficult with the ball. Okay? Thank you, Ken.
Sir.
Way to go, way to go. He's changing film. I'm sorry, Ricky. So, we're doing this, bang. We pass him. Now, if I try to arch him from underneath, I'm what, 3 or 4 inches shorter than he? Probably? I'm much too shorter than he. 4.5 inches shorter than he. I go like this, and he doesn't want to arch too much, because I'm coming from underneath, trying to get him to arch. How do I do that? You don't. What you do is you lift his elbow with your elbow. and you press down from above. Is that fair? All right, can you get up?
No.
Feel comfortable?
No.
Like to fall?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, bang! Now watch me kick his elbow. And here's where I can go. Now, admittedly, if he were 12'9", I couldn't do that. But there are very few attackers. If the guy who attacks is 12'9", pack it in. You know? I mean, you lose. All right? You know, like, I often get questions, you know, what if 3 700-pound Samoans attack you with bazookas? You die. I mean, that's, you know, come on. There's a limit. But within normal height differences, you can handle this. If you are a kid and you're this high and Ken attacks you, you're not going to flip his arm off. I don't care how good you are. You just don't have the height. But if you are 5'6", Corey, how tall are you?
5'4".
Okay, if you're 5'4", and Ken's a foot taller than you, you can probably kick that elbow up like this and still pull it off. Beyond that, it might be more difficult. But that's a reasonable range of heights, 5'4" to 6'4". Not a lot of people taller than 6'4". Not a lot of adults shorter than 5'4". I mean, women might be. You know, 5' women are quite common. But, okay, let me give you another option. So there's a solution to that problem too. But for our purposes, bam, one, and just keep walking. Okay? I want to say it again, right, Tammy? I'm looking at that face going, I should have had coffee this morning. Okay. Slow me. One more? Who needs to see it again?
Speak now.
Forever hold your pieces. I'll do it one more time. Fingers go, just touch your shoulders so you just have a lever. The reason I use my fingers is that's the longest lever. If I use my palm, it would be that much shorter. Right? So, you know, it looks like it's a pressure point, but it looks like it's a pressure point, but it isn't. It looks like, well, I'm doing a secret pressure point here. I'll tell you about secrets in a second.
I'm toast.
Eau de sweat. Now, about secret pressure. Aiki is subtle enough so that if a person knows his Aiki well enough, a teacher knows his Aiki well enough, he can pull the wool over his students' eyes. He can make it so students will do what he does but never get his Aiki. They'll never get it. Because it's hidden. It's real subtle. He can do seminars and, you know, throw people like this, and people get out there and go, and what they end up doing is they end up falling for the thrower in order to feel some sort of sense of success. Now, I think, unfortunately, at the risk of being politically incorrect, I'm sorry, I'm here, so I can do that. I live in the other coast. At the risk of being politically incorrect, a lot of Aikido schools have become, I do this, you fall for me. And we have a nice exercise, but I don't really develop any skills, except the skill of movement. I don't really develop any skills of throwing, because you're going to be such a good faller, uke, that I don't have to worry about it. Actually, we have the opposite challenge in my group. We teach everybody to fall, but we tell them, don't fall for us. You know, unless we're doing it on purposely slow and we're learning it, but don't fall for us. So what happens is, we take a risk of people not developing as good a falling skill as Aikido people do. Because they're not always falling. They just don't fall unless you throw them. But think about it. Isn't that reasonable? I'll give you a Don Anger story that he told me, and I don't think I'm telling tales out of school because he told it publicly. So, and Kale wants to get a new tape before I tell the story, don't you, Kale? All right. So, he was in a seminar. He was taking a seminar, an Aikido seminar. he's an Aikido Jiu-Jitsu master, but he's taking an Aikido something. And he felt like no one was actually thrown, except, I think it was Kishimaru Ueshiba, who's the founder's son, who's now passed away. And one other guy he felt was actually doing throws. But the other masters weren't. They just depended upon their followers. So this master picked on Ange and boom, and got one. And the guy was insulting me. Why are you not fall? And Sensei, Master Ange said, why are you not throw? To me, that's like blatantly obvious. Why should we even have a discussion in the martial arts about you shouldn't fall unless you're thrown? Learning times aside, where you have to sometimes simulate the fall. But I think a lot of martial arts have become that. Even karate, it's like, I'll pretend that when you block me here, I won't hit you with the other hand. And then you can do your retaliation. Well, yeah, that's okay for learning, but you have to start someplace. Right? The Arnis equivalent would be, I'm pretending I'm hitting your wrist, and you know I actually could, but you're fighting like this far away. You never could hit their wrist. You never get the proximity to hit their wrist. So you're always hitting stick against stick. And you say it's for safety. It is. But unless you get in close at some point, and either do it with empty hands or soft sticks, you don't know if you can get the proximity. So what happens is that gets held into the system as an official way of doing something. People forget that that's the safe way of doing something. It's really supposed to break your wrist. Is that fair? Okay? So everybody has it. It's not just Aikido. It's just that we all are susceptible to something that's not realistic because we want to do it safely. And we can't help it. We have to do it. But we also have to make a mental note. Trees aren't purple. They're brown. I'm just doing purple for now, for this drawing, for this practice session, to make it look good. But in reality, it's brown. I have to do it differently. I have to do it a little closer. I have to do it a little more hip. I have to follow through. I could hit the guy, whatever the case may be. Okay? All right. So I forgot what the heck we were going to do now. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So where is my Minatani part? Okay? So he gives him the punchings. See, it's tripped into sandal. I told you. Okay. Thank you, sir. Go ahead, try it. Most people, I have a guy who, well, he's only maybe barely 40, okay? About my size. He cannot make him. He also cannot make his arm extend because he's shortened the ligament so much from lifting. So you got no extension and you got no arch. So what we've learned to do is work around that. He is what we call the 5% exception. There's always 5% at least that you have to make adjustments for. So there's nothing you can do about it.
Of course, he hasn't been really hit soft and
right.
either.
Right. But another thing is that, and again, I don't want to hurt you, but I'll just make the point. I'm here, right? No. If I can get him to bend here, I can sit him down without arching.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So there's other things.
So if I come at,
Go like this. Now, if I feel the resistance, I would probably go this way. If I want to do resistance, I go this.
Okay. Just come, just right there.
Would you give me a straight punch with your right hand? Same beginning, right? Now, we're going to use the arch again. Remember the business about dropping the elbow like this? We did from this side? Remember that? Right. So we're going to do a similar thing. Right. Okay, as slow as I can do it. Okay. Now that's similar to the shoulder, but it's doing this, right? Yeah? And I just walk. Now, why does this work? I'm going to do this to a couple of different attackers because Nelson uses an 08 ski. He uses a Shotokan 08 ski, a lunge punch. So he's extended. Therefore, this line is weak, right? So a little roll of the shoulder, and when I put my weight here, that's going to take him up. You see that? Okay? Thank you, sir. Okay, Jim. Jim, I want you to do the same thing, but a shorter punch. Shorter stance. Yeah. Same thing happens here. Boom. Okay? Except if I don't push in an arch, if I push this way, he'll just walk. If you were in a long stance, a push could probably move him. But a shorter stance, a push will just make him march. So what I want to do is, a push will just make him walk. So what I want to do is I want to arch him and then walk. Okay? Now let's take a boxing stance, and he's going to do a jab with his hand. So I'm going to go inside. Now, he still has that short stance. Okay? The trick here is, because he's much more mobile in a boxer stance, he can move quicker. So if I just go like this, he can adjusting his feet. Okay? So what I do is I get him to concentrate on something that is not on this line. It'll be on this line. What I did was, I rubbed up, and he went, and then I went down and I arched him. Because his stance was shorter, and I can't get him to go this way because he'll just move. He'll just walk. Okay? Now, eventually, you get the sensitivity where you can just touch him. In other words, you'll know where his weight is. Whether you hit it inside or outside, you'll know where it is. But right now, I have to give you specifics. If I just say, oh, just do this, it's going to change every time the guy hits you. When his weight's different, the situation is different. It's changing. Okay? So we're here, right? All I want you to do is drop your elbow, slide up, walk forward, and go down. Okay? And again, I want you to know that in practical application, it has to adjust on the fly. Every technique does. You know, I remember, you guys probably wouldn't do this, but I remember arguing with an East person. They're doing Sinawala, right? Okay. And they're telling me how stupid my kata is for self-defense. And I'm looking at them going, what are you doing? What's this? It's a kata. Nobody goes up in self-defense and goes, excuse me, I got to defend myself. Give me my sticks. Now watch, get into this. That's not the purpose of it. There's a whole bunch of things that are happening in the middle of your sinawali, right? So, same thing in kata. So what happens is that people automatically think too literally. They have to make the adjustment to the street. You can't do street stuff in the school. Otherwise, you wouldn't be lasting long as students. The guy wants his dues at the end of the month, you know? So we can't kick you out by killing you. All right? Well, some people. But anyway, where was it? Right here. So what we're going to do here is do a specific that we're not adjusting for. Short stance jab, move inside back fist, come up, step, drop down. Notice my weight dropped down. I didn't lean, I didn't push, I didn't trip, I didn't shove him with my arm. I came up and did this. See it? Any questions? Any suggestions, answers? Everyone want to throw money?
I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Talking about the rise up.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're making that adjustment on each scenario as you described. Is there a spot that we don't want to go above that elbow type scenario? Because I seen you do the first, it looked like you went up farther than the last 2 or 3 times you've done it.
It really depends. As you say, it's an adjustment. But here, I would like to go here so I have the rest of my forearm left over.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And then drop down. But sometimes what happens in the heat of doing it, you go like this, you hit on, and you found yourself over here. All right, you have the same thing. Now you have connection with your chest and elbow. What people would want to do here is go like this. No. No, you let your chest do it. You have the connection you want already. So your arm didn't swipe down, your chest did. Big deal. You see, once you understand the principle that's happening, the form doesn't matter anymore. The form is a way to learn the principle. I didn't swipe his arm. I faked his eyes. But didn't I get him to arch? Didn't he have to fall down? Well, the principle's the same then. The way I got to it is different. Okay? Wrong hand. Doesn't he have to arch? You're falling down, Jim. I don't care. Jim is one of these guys, like, he gives me nothing, right? Isn't it the same thing? Different manifestation, but it's the same thing, isn't it? Okay? So, whatever he does, I'm going to try to do, in this case, I'm trying to do a similar principle to give you different manifestations of the similar principle. When you learn it by technique. You say, I've got to imitate what Sensei or Sahom or whatever Sifu does. Okay, I've got to imitate what he does. So you're being very literal. But the idea is if you imitate that over a period of years, you've imitated 15, 20, 30 variations, and it starts adjusting in your brain, and it's not concrete anymore, it's conceptual. It's not only just a list of specifics. It becomes a concept that you can use on the fly. Okay? Let me do our Annesi example. Let's say you use a numbering system. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? All right? And someone comes up to you and they say, oh, no, we do Annesi distinto. And we use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Well, you can say, that's wrong. I can't do that. Or you can say, so what? So what? They started down here. I started up here. Who cares? It's basically an angle. If you hit me here, I don't care if you call that a 7, a 9, a 2, or a 1. You hit me here. It's just a way of labeling it. It's like saying, this is kakeuke. Oh no, it's hookbook. Oh no, it's kakie. Oh no, it's... Who cares? Just do it, and then understand how it makes it work. And now you're free of it. You used a concrete. This sounds like Bruce Lee, doesn't it? You use a concrete, a specific, to rise above the specifics. And to get this general thing that you can just react. See, our goal, and I think a lot of martial artists imply this, they may not say it. Our goal is to learn a lot of very nice, artistically pretty, functional techniques. Doesn't everyone want to learn a lot of good techniques, right? I mean, you don't want to learn the same technique 50,000 times, right? You want to learn a whole bunch of them. But our goal is to take those techniques at what we consider fifth dan and not make them exist anymore. They only exist accidentally. So if he attacks me, I could go boom, boom, hook block, round kick, straight punch, reverse, close punch, okay? Karate. Or I could, and we'll name that technique, we'll call that something, or we'll call that a series of something. I could go, okay, we're going to do Aiki, Hirimi Nagi. And we'll name them. But our goal is not just that we know that. Our goal is that when he attacks me, I just respond. Whatever, I don't care what he does, I'll just respond. Doesn't matter to me. This, by the way, is symbolic of hitting him on. It's not that I want to wipe his head, right? Okay. Now I have to have techniques to base these on, but I'm just going to wing it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how he's going to react. I just do it. Now, how do I just do it? I base it on a year's worth of learning specific techniques and combinations. Then I forget them. Now, do you think that if you learned box pattern and you learned Sinawali and you learned inverted or reverse Sinawali, and you had two sticks in your hand and this guy comes at you with a knife, that you're going to be able to defend yourself? The answer is, I don't know. You'll probably do something based on what your training was, but you only had 3 training drills. So you know what you'll probably do? You'll go, ah! You know, and try to hit the knife out of his hand, by hitting his wrist. But if you get better at those drills and understanding, you might go boom, and go like this and then hit him. Or you might go like this, or you might go, and you know what? You'll just do what happens because he's not feeding you an attack, he's attacking you. And you're going to do what you're going to do based on your training. Everybody does. The question is, how well do you integrate that training? All of it together. Do you keep it over here, over here, over here? Well, I'll just do it. I'm good at this drill. I can pass this exam. I'm good at this kit. I can do this reception. Or do you integrate it saying, now it's part of me, so when the guy attacks me, I can just go like this. I can do this. And I know I'm going to react to the point where he falls down or is hurt, or is bruised, or is cut, or whatever. Depends if you have a weapon or not. That's what you really want. That's what makes it self-defense. Not that you can demonstrate the art. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against that you can demonstrate the art, or that you can teach it well, or that you can look pretty doing it. I think all of that is great. But I think our eventual goal should be to integrate what we have so that it becomes not the art anymore, it becomes us. Bruce Lee once said, maybe you know this, probably not quoted right, but maybe you're familiar with it. He said, if I ever get taken to court for defending myself, my argument will be, I didn't do it. I didn't hit him. It hit him. And people go, huh? There's not, I didn't consciously try to hit him. My training did it. You know, the guy attacked me. I go like this. I stick my thumb in his eye. I didn't think I was going to stick my thumb in his eye. He attacked me. He set into play autonomic reactions based on my training, which to help defend me. That's why I took self-defense. So I didn't attack him. It did. It being the unknown autonomic reaction. Okay? And I think he was absolutely right. I don't think it would work in court, but I think he was absolutely right that that's what you want. You want to go, oh, gee. And we even have a thing where we talk about Banjo wa Buddha desu, which in Japanese means everything is Buddha. The idea being that not only that you see Buddha in everything, but that everything you do can be converted. So, for example, if I were to say, how do you do? That's not self-defense. If I were to say, how do you do? Just changing the angle of that, that's self-defense. Or if I were to say, how do you do? That's self-defense. If I were to say, hi, that's not self-defense. If I go hi, that's self-defense. It's everything, you know, whatever you do can be converted to anything. Anything can be anything. If I go like this and tie my shoe and he was punching over my head at the time, well, that was self-defense, wasn't it? So anything can be anything. The thing is, you've got to see it to make it that way. You have to go through a process by which everything is understood as literal and you know, work on it. It's got to be right. And then you dissolve it all and it becomes you. Okay, now I forgot what technique we were working on. Oh, yeah. This one. So give it a shot. Thanks. You're thinking, oh, he rolls his shoulders, so he must put pressure on it. He must be doing this. I told you what you see is not what you get. Nobody believes me. Huh. Okay. You roll it up, right? See my weight went to my left leg? See it? Now you feel your weight go where?
When you come up,
When I do this, where do you
with
weight?
my right hip.
Okay, and up or down?
Up.
Okay. Now, when I step, what do you feel?
Going down to my left.
Okay. Did I push him? No. Ne pushe pas, as they say in French. Okay. Was that forceful?
No.
Did you have to fall? Okay? That's the difference between Aiki energy, and again, I don't want to sound like, look at me, this is the good stuff. But it is, in a way. It's more subtle. It takes more work. In that sense, it's good. It's not that it's more effective. If you slam the guy's shoulder down, trip him over, you're like, that's damn effective. Okay? You're going to hurt him. You're going to, if that's what your level of development is, do it. Absolutely. Okay? I have nothing against that at all. I'm not saying abandon that and do it my way. I'm just saying, if you want to understand the energy of Aikido, you have to momentarily abandon that. To you know, empty your cup to get a little of this tea. Okay? Which is what the initial address was about. Okay, so just go up and down, nice and left, up and down. It's like a walk, right? We have a technique called kamizami, and this is based on it. The first step in kamizami is hand and foot together, and then the rest is hand is different rhythm to the foot. Kamizami is done, grab my wrist. It's done like this. Drop your back, right? Well, on that shape, this is a similar thing. I shift my weight to this foot, this goes up, but as this goes down, I'm stepping. Okay, just like, yes sir?
How does that work on somebody a lot taller than you?
Give me somebody like Thomas Ken.
Sir.
It all depends on prep. Okay? How much I pay him before the attack.
Right.
I don't care, right? Boom. Okay? Now, if I were to do this at my normal height, I would not get into the arch. We have the same situation, right? It wouldn't happen. But remember, what's the first motion? What did I say the first motion is? Kill. Up. Up. Make him float. Make him light. I don't want this big guy, heavy guy at my side. What do you weigh?
230.
Okay, 230. He weighs almost 10 pounds more. No, he weighs quite a bit more than me, okay? So, okay. Did you have to fall? Did I use a lot of force?
Yes, sir.
Are you taller than me?
Yes, sir, I am.
You follow me? So the concept is already there in the technique. All right, thank you, sir. Go ahead. I'm trying to get to the sense of how throws happen, the sense of how off-balancing is, the sense of subtle energy, and a couple of principles. But Aiki is real broad. You know, it's like saying our niece is playing with sticks. Well, yeah, that's true, but it's a lot broader than that. Okay, it's empty hand, it's knife and stick, it's single stick, it's double stick. Okay, it's sticking guy in the eye. You know, it's all sorts of broader perspective than you first see. You know, everyone says, okay, that's our niece, but it's bigger than that. Aiki. Well, this is Aiki. Well, yeah. But it's bigger than that. There are hold downs. There are takedowns. There are throws. There are locks. Now everybody knows this lock, but usually they put it on with a lot of force, and they don't just let them hang it with very little energy. Okay, of course now, do whatever I want. Yeah, I can think about it. Think about it. Okay. Thank you. So there are, as I said, hold downs. There's not a lot of grappling on the ground, but as I showed you with Larry, the grappling you do is you try to hold the guy down and you subtly make it so that he can't do anything. But you have to already be in that position. You can't be grappling with the guy in the sense of wrestling. So that, although some principles of Aikido can be used in wrestling, there's not a lot of wrestling in Aikido. There are blows, but the blows aren't emphasized because let's say I have a clear shot. Let's say I do this. I have a clear shot at his face. Bang! Well, I don't have to use the rest of my Aikido now. I just took him out, right? He's down and he has a bloody nose. So it's not that they're not there. In a real encounter, you want to use blows. But that, if you use blows, you're not going to develop the rest of your Aikido. So what I thought I'd do for the last 10, 15 minutes is see if you have requests. What do you want to see? Do you have questions? Requests, questions, disagreements?